Hello everyone, welcome to the new class of chemistry. Up till the previous class, we discussed about some of the basic models, the models of atom. To be frank, those were actually the cancelled topics of the syllabus, but still, I had given you the notes also. So it doesn't mean that it's been cancelled. So you need not to write it or you need not to study it. To write the notes, it's better because today or tomorrow this coronavirus or whatever this type of disease is there in our world, this pandemic will go, but still the knowledge about what we are studying remains the same, right? So just for the sake of some marks, you do not avoid those topics. These are some of the small topics but important one. You just write that notes whichever are given on the basis of the uh, question paper being formed. We can avoid it that at that time, but for understanding the concepts, it's better that we write the notes regularly. Also the notes also, sorry, also the topics which we are discussing today, many of them are being cancelled, but still it's better that you write the notes. I haven't given it in the comment box, the PDF of these notes. You can write it by yourself because it's very simple one. Atomic number, it's nothing but the number of protons. That is what atomic number means. It is represented by letter Z. Okay. Number of protons for an atom's case will be very much equal to the number of electrons. Always consider that. If the number of atoms are equal, if the number of protons of an atom is atomic number, then definitely the number of protons will always be equal to number of electrons, because we know that an atom is neutral in charge. Okay, an atom is neutral in charge. Clear? Fine. And the combination of this proton and neutron in the nucleus, we know that atom has nucleus and electron, and the combination of this in the nucleus is actually known by the name nucleon. Okay, that's about atomic number. Write the notes by yourself about atomic number. And mass number is actually the total number of nucleons. Okay, mass number means actually the total number of nucleons, means total number of protons present in the atom plus total number of neutrons present in the atoms. Okay, my mistake. Protons and neutrons combination are actually known as nucleons, not proton and electron. So the proton and neutrons combination, total combination, is known by the name mass number, or we can say the total number of nucleons is termed as the mass number. Okay, write the notes by yourself. Next one is isobar and isotop. It's nothing but isotop means something, or isobar means something. See, an atom, whenever we take an atom, that atom might have, suppose I take carbon. Carbon has atomic number being 6, right? We always write the atomic number downside to the left side. And also carbon has atomic number 6, as well as carbon has a mass number of 12. This is the mass number of carbon. But there is also carbon which has atomic number 6 but mass number as 14. Okay, so there can be similar cases where mass numbers can be different in some atoms. In some cases, atomic number is different in some atoms, but mass number is same. So such cases where the mass number or atomic number, where it forms a pair or where it is different, we tell it as isobar or isotop. So what are they? It is actually represented in a certain form. Suppose we have an atom by name X, then we will write the atomic number downside, left side, and the atomic mass number on the top left. Like for example, now just right now, as we have written carbon has 6 as atomic number and 12 as mass number. This is how we write actually the depiction of a particular element, right? So there are certain cases in that sense that those atoms those atoms which have actually same atomic number but different mass number, atoms with same atomic number but different mass number, they are actually known as isotope. The best example being hydrogen. Hydrogen has atomic number 1, we know that, but in even in this atomic number 1 it has different mass numbers, 1, 2, 3. So 1H1, it is actually known by the name protium. 1H2, it is known by the name deuterium. 1H3, it is known by the name tritium. These are the different examples of what we say as isotope. Also there are some other examples also, like you can see carbon 612, carbon 613, carbon 614. Similarly, chlorine 1735, chlorine 1737. These are also examples of isotope. In this different sense, if we see, there are other elements where atomic uh, number is different but mass number is same. Atomic number is different but mass number is same. It can happen in certain cases, like for example carbon and nitrogen. Carbon has 6 as atomic number, nitrogen has 7 as atomic number, but both of them have same situation of mass number. In some conditions, carbon nitrogen has 14 as mass number, and a particular carbon has also 14 as mass number, right? So this type of category is known by the name isobar. Okay, isobar and isotope. So you write the notes by yourself. It's been cancelled topic, but still you write the notes by yourself. And the drawbacks of Rutherford, it is a cancelled topic, you just read it. Okay, no need to write it, no need to write it, you just read the drawbacks of Rutherford. No need to write, but you should write about the with examples, atomic number as well as isotope and isobar topic heading you have to write by yourself. Okay, with one or two problems given, problem 1 and problem 2. Okay, now if we discuss about Rutherford model was the one which gave the basis of nuclear model of atom that we can study. Like the atom has a nucleus was surrounded by electron, nucleus, inside nucleus there was proton and neutron. So with the help of Rutherford's model, we could understand some basic topics from that. But Rutherford's model did not give a clarified information about how the electrons are distributed. Means how many electron can come in a particular orbit, or what could be the energy that a nucleus can share with electron. All these things were not mentioned properly. Also there was something else missing. So all these things were actually combined together in a different model of atom which was given by Bohr. Neil Bohr was also a scientist. Neil Bohr. Neil Bohr was the one who mentioned about how many electrons can be placed in an orbit of an atom. So in order to understand what Neil Bohr tried to mention, we will understand what Neil Bohr's theory tried to give about the basic concept of the wave nature. See, the wave nature, we can say the wave nature was actually an of electromagnetic radiations, because in order to understand that, we know very well about a fact that whatever we heat or whatever we burn, some sort of radiations might come from them, right? Some sort of radiations, some sort of radiation might come from them, right? If we are heating a particular object, the radiation will be thermal radiation. The radiation will be thermal radiation, and in even in the thermal radiation, the particles will have different frequency, different wavelength. So in order to understand that, what was done, a concept was used that even the light particles, or even the light also have some particles existing in them. The very first being explained was by James Clerk Maxwell about this electromagnetism properties, that the particle, whatever the particle, charged particle are there in an atom, or whatever the charged particle is present, it will have an electromagnetic wave. Okay, and it was experimentally detected or mentioned by Heinrich Hertz. Hertz was the person who explained it, who experimentally mentioned it. Okay. The notes of this chapter, I believe that you can write it by yourself. I give you as a homework to write the notes of this chapter as homework. Okay. So, whatever studies were done, it was done mainly by James Maxwell. He was the first to explain about that a charged particle has both the electrical as well as magnetic field lines present in them, and that waves present were actually known by the name electromagnetic waves or electromagnetic radiation. Okay, it's been given with the help of a graph about the electromagnetic radiations. You can see the electric field lines going through the, if we draw the xyz axis, we are well aware of the xy axis, right? This is another axis, x y z axis, a three-dimension axis, x y z axis, three-dimension axis, where you can see the electric field lines going to and forth, and you can see the magnetic field lines also going in the y axis. If we draw it, it will be like this. You can draw another, it will go like this, the magnetic field lines, something like this. So we can see that a particular time being, the magnetic field lines and electric field lines are fluctuating, means they are changing. So because of this change, we can say that a particular electromagnetic radiation will have different light rays present in them, which we actually mention as spectrum, or rather we mention it as electromagnetic spectrum. Okay, there are different rays of light present in a particular electromagnetic spectrum: gamma rays, X rays, ultraviolet rays, visible rays, radio ray, infrared waves. Infrared, you have seen the infrared, or you have used to with the infrared. It is being found in the remote that is connected to a TV, infrared, or even the AC that is connected with the remote. Microwave, which is found in microwave ovens, radio waves, and long radio waves. These are the different specific type of electromagnetic spectrum regions. Okay, and they are based on, they are measured on the basis of the frequency and the wavelength. Okay, this is gamma, this symbol, gamma. This symbol over here, it is lambda. This symbol over here is lambda. It's a Greek symbol. Okay, it shows the wavelength, wavelength or the distance traveled by the rays. You can see the distance traveled by the rays. The shortest distance is traveled by gamma rays, and the longest distance it is traveled by long radio waves. Radio waves are traveling long distance. You have felt FM radios, right? FM radios, you had felt it. It is being listened by us in, sometimes in radios, sometimes through phones, sometimes through any other channels, and they travel a long distance, whereas gamma rays travel less distance. And in the sense, thinking it in a different way on the basis of frequency, gamma rays have higher frequency, but long radio waves have lesser frequency. Okay. The SI unit of frequency is actually hertz. Okay. And the SI unit of wavelength is actually meter. It's been mentioned here. Okay. So, and one more small thing, actually the electromagnetic radiations, when they are considered, they actually are considered at the speed of the light. The speed of light is actually 3.8 into 10 to, sorry, uh, 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. This is the speed of light, and in this particular speed, the the each and every radiations travel. Okay, this is the speed of each and every radiations speed, and it is actually the speed of light is depicted with the symbol c. Speed of light is depicted with the symbol c. C equals v lambda. C equals v lambda, where v is actually, this is actually, we can't say it as v, it is actually said as nu. It is also a Greek symbol. Nu lambda, we will say it. C is the speed of light. Speed. Nu is the we can say it as a frequency, and lambda is the wavelength. This is the equation of speed of light. C is equal to nu lambda. Okay, that's all about today's class. So as a homework, as I told you, what is your homework? You have to write the notes of atomic number as mass number, isobar and isotop. No need to write notes of this, it is cancelled topic, still you read it and write a short note or short topic, short notes about wave nature of electromagnetic radiation. Up till this particular diagram you have to make in your notebooks. You have to make this diagram, and this one, this complete diagram you have to make by your own with the notes regarding this particular paragraph. Okay, the rest we will study in the upcoming chapter. There are some more written here, wave number, read it, write the notes by yourself. Okay, so that's all about today's class. Thank you, have a nice day.